That appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million.
What's going on, YouTube? You guys are tuned into another Q-Pill reaction. Let's get a dose of this shit. Point of view: you're a pro-black male athlete. You're influential, you're great at what you do, and you're on the verge of creating a rather illustrious legacy for yourself. But as a pro-black athlete, you come with some rather pernicious proclivities. You're prone to impulsivity, sensation-seeking, and risky sexual behaviors. Not to mention the elevated levels of testosterone and aggressive training regimens may amplify your biological libido and dominance behaviors. And you tend to prioritize physical attractiveness and availability in women over compatibility and discernment. You have a heightened sensitivity and exposure to women that you never would have had access to had you not been rich or famous. And so now you become married to another game as well. The game of running through women and having casual affairs, especially with high-risk women who tend to be OnlyFans models, porn stars, and any other woman that you wouldn't normally want to commit to seriously, engage with monogamously, or marry for life. And ultimately, this marriage that you have to having casual flings with high-risk women comes back to bite you in the ass, and you become a member of what I refer to as the Stupid Black Athletes Association. And the newest addition to this association is no other than NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. Because Shannon Sharpe, who's 56 years of age, is currently being sued by a 20-year-old OnlyFans model for grape.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just going to get mad at and you're just going to hang up on me. So I feel like...
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a bitch to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't...
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well...
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
All the facts have not been established yet, and I really don't care what the outcome is. I have a deeper issue. And my issue is with the fact that so many black athletes continuously put their money, legacy, and influence on the line by continuing to engage with high-risk women. A testament of how black athletes are often overwhelmed by fame, lust, attention, and access to women, compounded by a complete lack of sexual discernment and discipline. I can't imagine a world where my net worth becomes 7-8 figures and I constantly put that in jeopardy by continuously being a slave to my sexual urges and with the lowest quality women that I could possibly have access to having access to me. We tend to make the most irrational mating choices when it comes to women once we have status and fame. What is it specifically about black men? Because we've seen it with Anthony Edwards, Zion Wilson, Paul George, impregnating strippers and porn stars. They know they don't want to marry them. They know they don't want them to be the mother of their kids, and yet they do it. So overwhelmed by a baddie sliding in their DM that they don't stop and think, this woman could simply be trying to extract resources out of me, take advantage of my newly found financial success. This is why it's difficult for me to get behind black men as being the cream of the crop, even when they have millions in the bank, because they still have the sexual selectivity of a 14-year-old. And I'm not going to diverge into black women's opinions about the fact that he's 56 and he shouldn't be dating a 19-year-old, because at the end of the day, they're two consenting adults. They can do what they want. She's not under some spell. As you can see, she's clearly filed a lawsuit against him. There's ultimately no issue on my behalf with the age gap. Our problem is strictly with the fact that they continuously choose these high-risk women to penetrate and inseminate and then end up in these legal troubles. Go through litigations that they could have avoided altogether if they simply were not a slave to their sexual impulses and risky sexual behaviors that they love to engage in. Because at some point as a man, you got to exhibit discipline. You got to demonstrate a certain level of discernment with the company that you keep and the women that you allow into your lives. Because you have to stop and consider, although I am attractive enough now to be in atmospheres and coexist with these women, would these women want me if I wasn't who I was and didn't have the money that I have? And oftentimes the answer will be no. And by virtue of the fact that there are women who exist who will like you for you when you don't have millions in the bank, that means gold diggers are also out there lurking, opportunists, waiting on their opportunity to pounce on a man who's a slave to his impulsive sexual urges, lowers his guard just enough so that he doesn't even realize that she's playing him and recording phone conversations, manipulating interactions between you two to make it appear as if though you're taking advantage of her, you have some ill will towards her, or you need to be criminally investigated because of something that you may have said or did that has been used out of context and can be contorted or manipulated to make you look guilty. And that's what a lot of these athletes deal with. Some of them are guilty, but some of them aren't. And this is a phenomenon that I see all too often. That's all too prevalent in black American male athletes. So the reality of the situation with Shannon Sharpe may very well be that this woman is simply trying to take advantage of him and milk him for all he's got. Thus far, the facts have shown that he offered her $10 million to keep quiet and not make this a legal battle. And she clearly rejected that offer and wants $50 million out of him. 5 times the amount he originally offered. And he has no one to blame but himself and his lack of discernment. I can't feel bad for these black athletes who keep ending up in these situations, because go get a wife and settle the fuck down. Go get a woman who you trust enough to invest in emotionally, who you trust enough that you're comfortable and secure with talking about your finances, being vulnerable with your desires to start a family, be married to her. And I know y'all will say that's extremely difficult, and I agree it is extremely difficult, especially if you've already made it and you weren't married before you got there. I agree that it's especially difficult. But if you're going to engage in a hedonistic lifestyle to where you are constantly just running through women, and these women are the lowest of the low, literally you're paying for sex, you're paying for their time, you want nothing to do with them after you get your nut, then the alternative doesn't seem like such a bad idea. Because the only thing that's worse than your wife, who you once cared about and loved and may still care about and love, milking you for amounts of money that you would rather her not, or using your child as a pawn because she's upset with the fact that you didn't pay her enough attention or you cheated on her. The only thing worse than being milked by a woman that you once loved or still loved is being milked by a woman that you want nothing to do with once you bust a nut. As a man, you can't blame anybody but yourself for that lack of discipline and discernment. So we'll see what happens ultimately with this Shannon Sharpe case. We don't know. The facts are still being assessed, but they'll eventually come out. I just believe that this is a much more pertinent angle to address this situation from because, as I said, too many men are falling victim to their own lack of dick discipline. I'll catch you guys on the next dosage. Over and out.